I was too good with my picks last week, so Richard wins again, and we're just going to celebrate Alabama opponents and get cinnamon rolled.
Oh, Dan, I am here to roll this.
Oh, look at it. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Oh, my God, that's beautiful. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Wake Up College Football presented by Xfinity.
Wow,
my name is Dan. Was it good? Good cinnamon roll?
Very good.
Richard is getting some carbs. He's carbo loading. He's getting that energy.
Bulk phase.
Absolutely. So we are now going into week 8, and we are now at the time, Richard. The playoff rankings will be coming out at a certain point soon, and honestly, we don't care because I don't think they know what they're doing. Their explanations change by the week about what matters. So why don't we dive into playoff talk? Because it's a week that's going to change
Slide
things.
on into the playoffs DMs.
Let's slide in. Let's slide in. So we're going to present our very first, maybe we'll do it again, who's to say, leave-outables. So we have a good concept of playoff level and worthy teams at the moment. Teams that maybe started outside of the top 15 that have scooted their way in. Teams that look like they're going to be really good that sort of scooted their way out. But there's a number of factors that have to be discussed. So to you, right now, give me a couple, 2 or 3 teams that seem the most leave-outable.
I have 2. One of them is going to make everybody really mad. It's whoever loses the Penn State-Ohio State game. I think we run through this thing again where we say, wow, that resume that X loser of that game has is so good. I'm kind of going to run under some assumptions here that the loser, will also beat Michigan and be there with one loss.
Okay. All right.
So I think whoever sits out of the Big Ten championship game from that division is going to have this thing where they say, our resume, our resume, our resume.
Sure.
And it's just going to be like, yeah, but about that whole conference championship game. And I will say, don't lose again. Don't lose twice.
Yes.
Because if you lose twice, you're done. The jig is up if you lose twice. Because you don't even win enough to put yourself in the conversation to have your resume come into play.
For sure.
But yeah, I think that one-loss Big Ten East loser, the second-place team in the Big Ten East, is going to have a gripe about being in the playoff, and they're going to be on the outside looking in again. And then I think when you look at the human polls, you see USF kind of rising up and up and up and up. This is the official college football show of, among other things, USF football.
Go Bulls.
But I think that you're going to run into the thing of the schedule. I think that USF needed that schedule to be so strong, so ironclad, and it has not. It has not become that. I know UCF has been really good, but we're about to find out just how good UCF is. And so that game sits at the end of the schedule. But I think when the playoff rankings come out, I think we will again see what the playoff says to Group of 5 teams. And it's that you cannot be in our top 20.
Fair enough. So I'm going to agree with you.
So yeah, playoff, no. Top 20.
Yeah, on the Big Ten thing, I think that's interesting. Ohio State, if they lose again, that will be a second loss. And if they don't make the Big Ten championship game and they have 2 losses, albeit one of them was at least a very good loss against Oklahoma, as it appears right now.
But it doesn't matter.
But it does not matter.
Or it won't matter, I should say, hypothetically.
I'm going to say Penn State right now, I like a whole bunch. I'm worried about that offense. I will feel a lot better this week against Michigan, coming off of a bye if they're able to cover that 9.5, 10-point spread. A decisive win against a Michigan team with a not-so-good offense, to say a very nice thing about Michigan's offense.
That's very kind of
a not-so-good John O'Corn, whatever. That will go a long ways for me because Penn State has looked a little uneven, not really separating from Iowa, obviously, their best opponent to date. And the other one's Wisconsin to me. Wisconsin has a very easy schedule, and I realized BYU in the non-conference looked a lot better when they scheduled that, and BYU is awful. But Wisconsin's schedule, the fact that they let Northwestern back into that game, that they're not sort of separating themselves from teams they should be.
But Penn State had a scrappy one with Northwestern, too. That Northwestern team sneaking around the chicken coop.
I don't think it was that scrappy. I don't think they were shutting them out for the majority of that game. But yes, Northwestern did a number of good things against the Penn State offense. So, and Northwestern's fine, but we're talking playoff. We're talking excellence. And I don't see that there. I agree with you on the South Florida worrisome nature. They didn't schedule anybody in the non-conference over the past few years. Boise State always scheduled way up in Power 5. We saw Houston schedule way up in Power 5. And even though South Florida won 11 games last year, we'll probably win 10, 11 games, 12 games this year. There's no proof of concept against a top-level Power 5 school. So I don't think that they are. I'll entertain it if they just slaughter UCF, but beyond that, not really. And I'm not really entertaining. Washington, to me, is interesting. Washington has an opportunity in the second half of the season.
Well, nobody watches those games because
nobody knows about Washington. Exactly. But Washington has a good quarterback and a very, very, very good defense. The problem is the Pac-12 has been a little bit uneven this year, no non-conference, and they lose to an ASU team, which I think it'd be fair to say we don't know what they are.
But I will say this, like, I think you saw, and I know it was week 1, but you saw this Washington team struggle a little bit. And I know they pulled away from Rutgers in the end. But the way that they lost that game, I think on its face when I woke up Sunday morning was surprising. But you take the broader context, like they had this in them, I think.
Okay.
I think they had a loss like this in them. Now, do they have another is the question.
Sure.
And against an Alex Grinch defense, maybe they do.
And Wazoo has what before the Apple Cup? What do they have?
A bye week.
And we're going to get into that. But yes, no, Washington I think is still in an okay place because I don't think the ASU loss, I mean, the ASU loss might look better than a Syracuse loss by the end of the year, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it will.
We don't.
What does Syracuse do this week against Miami? Like, I don't know if that loss ends up looking at that bad.
We'll get into that because I think we have rivaling picks in that game.
Oh, do we?
I think we do. So those are our leave-outables right now. And if Wisconsin gets better and Hornibrook stops turning the ball over, I'm fully willing to
hammering
accept
the Big Ten today.
If Wisconsin wins the Big Ten, they're in. That's it.
Yeah.
If they win the Big Ten, they're in. Next up, let's talk about those bye weeks.
Shall we?
Because it's the sort of uneven part of scheduling, or it's one of many parts that are uneven about schedules. I mean, you have conferences that play only 8 conference games. You know, the Big 12 does not have another bye week. No teams.
So that's, first of all, I think that's kind of, it's interesting that they were able to kind of set the schedule up to do that. But when you talk about the Big 12 not having any bye weeks, I think a team like Oklahoma could really use a bye week.
Sure.
You know, Iowa State loss, not an awesome performance against Texas. I thought that they would be a little bit more demonstrative against Texas and be able to kind of pull away in that game.
Okay.
I know Tom Herman gets his teams up for big games and rivalry games. Yeah, I know.
Still a lot of talent on that Texas team,
Oklahoma's a lot better. Sorry.
Sure.
But yeah, I think that Oklahoma could use a bye week to kind of reset and kind of get this, hey, we're really good. We've got a really good quarterback. We've got a lot of talent. I still think they're probably going to go to the playoff.
And a first-year head coach to sort of adjust
let's reset.
everything.
Halfway through, let's reset. Kansas State next week. I know Kansas State isn't good, but this is a Bill Snyder special.
Okay.
All right. I'm not even picking it, and you know when we do pastry picks, I'm not picking it. I'll wait to see your pick. But yeah, I think Oklahoma would need a bye week to kind of boot up for what could be a Bill Snyder special next week.
Fair enough. Okay, so these are the big buys coming up. So no Big 12. Wazoo has one before the Apple Cup. Penn State had one last week going into this Michigan game, which I think is a huge advantage at home against Michigan against a bad offense. Ohio State has one before Penn State. Clemson has one before Georgia Tech, which I think is enormous to get that defense ready for a very different kind of offense. And
I think there's one team that I forgot to mention is USC doesn't have a bye week.
No, they have it the week before the Pac-12 championship if they go.
USC doesn't have a bye week this season. That's dangerous, man. To run through 12 straight games, to not have like a reset week, and I don't know. I don't like that from USC. You know, however the scheduling kind of fell there, I don't think they set themselves up this season for a national title run, maybe like we all thought they would with the schedule.
Yeah, fair enough. Florida, Georgia each have one. That matters for Georgia, I think, a lot more than Florida because this is a matchup that has a lot of winners who shouldn't probably win.
But this is a matchup that has a bye week almost every year. Like these schedules are usually set up to kind of have this bye week. It's a mid-season type thing, week 8. Like
particularly important for the favorite, though, to not go into this game and screw it up. This one I think is huge. NC State before Notre Dame.
Oh.
I like that one a whole lot because NC State is a team that's doing this right now. The trajectory is upwards. I really like that the Wolfpack have one, and then Bama and LSU each have one before that matchup.
That's another yearly thing.
It's important, especially if quarterback gets injured, for a backup to get reps or to sort of rejigger that offense to sort of better fit a backup quarterback. Oregon could have definitely used one a couple weeks ago, and just sort of get everybody healthy, get a little bit of more preparation, you know, get everybody on the same body clock, whatever the case may be. Body clock.
I think it's also fun for fans to kind of have 2 weeks to kind of build to these like big games.
Yes.
Like we now have like Alabama, LSU, they've kind of gotten on the schedule where both those teams get a bye week before the game. And so we like, hey, it's right that, you know, it's 2 weeks away. Florida, Georgia have had bye weeks before the cocktail party for a few years now. And so it's cool to kind of have that like.
I've been told it's only world's largest outdoor party.
The world's largest outdoor cookout.
Cookout, celebration of humanity. Bama-Tennessee is this week. I don't know if there's a good way to talk about this game other than, guys, please be gentle.
Yeah, in the context of like, don't hurt them, like.
It's just football. So Bama's 34 points favorite.
Yes, Bama's a 34-point favorite, which is the biggest spread in at least 20 years of records that we have on our database from our friends from oddshark.com. This is, Bama being really big favorites in this game isn't rare. They've done it in the last few years. 2013, Bama was a 28-point favorite. 2011, Bama was a 29-point favorite. And in 2010, Bama was a 10-point favorite. The thing here, though, is Bama has either met or exceeded the spread expectations in every one of those games. Tied one by 35 as a 28-point favorite in 2013, won by 31 in the other two games that I referenced as both a 29 and a 17-point favorite.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of throw this into context of Bama's three kind of rivals or three big games this season. Bama has only been this big of a favorite against a rival team once in the last 20 years. 34-point favorite against Auburn in 2012. Bama beat them 49-0 and covered the over-under, which was 46, by themselves in that game.
It's 5 touchdowns.
Yes. So Alabama is favored by a lot over Tennessee. They've done it a lot recently, and they've met and exceeded expectations each time. Will they again this week? Probably.
Probably so. It just feels like, and I'm going to stress this, football players are not pieces of meat. They are not food. Football teams are not that. Do you know what a reverse sear is?
I do. You cook in the oven for about 25 minutes.
Get it cooked on the inside.
Take it out, sear the crap out of it. 3 minutes each side. It is the only way to cook a steak. So Tennessee's the only way, without a grill.
Tennessee's coming out of the oven. They've already been roasted a little bit, and all Alabama has to do is a little bit here, a little bit there, and it's done. It's over. I wish we had a trash can. It's not going to be
Tennessee
pretty.
has a trash can.
That was very timely.
You like that?
I like that a lot. All right, give me something I need to know about this week and beyond.
Dan, I want to know if you know this. I think
Please.
It's the one thing. Dan, can you guess the one team that has allowed the fewest rushing touchdowns this season? That would be the one team that has allowed only one rushing touchdown this season.
Tennessee. No, assume it's not Tennessee.
What?
No.
Yeah.
My actual guess, I don't know, Washington?
Washington's close.
Okay.
Alabama is also close, and the answer I thought you were going to give. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Nice.
One rushing touchdown allowed this season.
And who do they have?
6 games. They have the USC Trojans
they
this
do.
Week.
And a very good running back.
Yeah, and so I'm interested in the what gives there, and
okay.
I think we're both picking that game in a second. I'm interested in what gives.
I don't
there.
think I am. I'm interested to hear your pick.
Oh well, I'm picking that game.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, Notre Dame's run defense is pretty good.
It's very good. Mike Elko has done a very good job in the red zone. They've tightened up. Obviously, they're not allowing anybody in on the ground. One of the better hires across the country, quietly, because since that Georgia game, Notre Dame really hasn't played a big game.
Yeah, Brian Kelly rejiggered pretty much that entire staff
in
the offseason, and that was one of my big questions about Notre Dame coming into the season.
Yes.
Would Notre Dame have, would they need a little bit to kind of get it figured out with that new staff and a defense that was a liability, especially in the back end last season? But no, they've got to figure it out.
They're playing confidently. We'll see if they have to make up for an injured quarterback situation on offense with Ian Book and Brandon Wimbush. We'll see what happens there. I think that's a very good answer. Now you need to know from me, the Mean Green of North Texas.
Oh.
Playing well. 2 years ago, they go 1-11. Right now, they're 4-2. They have Lane Kiffin and FAU, I believe, on the road this week. But Seth Littrell, who was the offensive coordinator at North Carolina under Larry Fedora, those huge offenses of, I think, 2014, 2015, he is now the head coach there. And if we're already getting into the season where we're speculating about job security, especially across the South.
And we're there.
Seth Littrell probably won't be a coach hired by a huge school this year. But I think the name is going to start coming up more and more. He's got a good quarterback. The offense is very good. They need to improve on defense, but they have a shot at going like 9-3, 10-2 if everything breaks right in Conference USA. I really like what they've done. He's in a good position. There's a lot of talent in Texas. I think he just got a commitment. I would not have known about North Texas recruiting otherwise, but Logan Holgerson.
Oh,
Dana Holgerson's
yeah,
son.
okay, I was about to say, yeah.
Seth Luttrell's a Mike Leach guy, so it makes sense.
Gotcha.
So pay attention. North Texas doing fun things, going 111 to like 9-3,
Green
2 years.
Back to being mean?
I'd say so, because it was very respectful Green.
Yeah, respectful
before.
Green,
Super
nice
respectful,
Green.
hospitable Green. So North Texas, let's make some picks right now.
Yes,
Start
please.
me off.
I will start you off. Dan, we have a clash of the Titans this week that's going to put this show in a tough spot because both of our teams are playing.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Purdue Boilermakers, Rutgers Scarlet Knights. This is the official college football show of Purdue football, the official college football show of Rutgers football.
I'm not going to watch this game.
New York's Big Ten team.
Yeah.
Purdue's a 9.5-point favorite. I'm going to take the Boilermakers. It tears me up inside to pick against my sons on both sides, but I will take Boiler up by Rutgers by 2 scores.
Led by their defense. Purdue's got a nice defense.
And so does Rutgers, but I like Purdue's offense to kind of...
Fair.
Yes.
Next.
Syracuse, 15-point dog. I will take the Orange to cover a 2-touchdown spread against Miami. I don't know if Syracuse has the depth to pull another upset off over Miami, but I do think they'll absolutely cover that spread and keep that game close, primarily because, if nothing else, I think Miami's undefeated record is kind of...
It's shaky. They've won...
Shaky.
Yeah. A little bit shaky after 2 last-second wins. 2 teams coming into this as a big letdown team. Syracuse having a huge upset win over Clemson. Miami over Georgia Tech last second. Yeah.
But the way Syracuse is handling this game, they note the Clemson game was big. They waited until Tuesday to get back on the practice field after a Friday win. I spoke to Dino Babers on Sunday morning about it.
Ooh, you dropped something.
You know how it is, baby.
Dropped something.
And kind of talked about how Syracuse is kind of handling the upset. So I don't know about a letdown spot. Maybe that makes them susceptible to a letdown spot.
Yes.
I think the way they're handling it is pretty interesting, and I think they know the task at hand ahead.
Okay, fair enough. It's going to be wet, by the way. It is going to be very rainy in South Florida for this game. Next, what do you got?
LSU 6.5 fave over Ole Miss. LSU, you get on the right track? All right, prove it over a bad Ole Miss team.
Ed Orgeron said he wanted to be at LSU the whole time he was at Ole Miss. Woo!
I know Ole Miss ran Vandy last week, but this ain't Vandy.
Okay.
Notre Dame 3.5 favorite over USC. I think Notre Dame can win this game by more than 3.5 points. Absolutely.
Okay.
I like the Irish here because of what they're doing on defense. Just like we said in the last segment, the weakness last year is a strength. Sam Darnold and USC are not the finished product that we thought they were.
Okay.
Also, what has USC not really done this season?
Stop the run?
Well, okay, besides that.
Well, there's many things then.
One in a convincing road environment.
Yeah.
I do not think they will do that on Saturday.
Okay, fair enough. You really like letdown spot and road favorites. I like that.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
It's heavy.
I'm here for it. Oh, also, I got one more.
Please.
UCF over Navy. I don't think Navy's faced a team.
Another road favorite.
I don't think Navy's faced the team with as much speed as UCF is going to bring to the table.
Ton of firepower. Yes. All right, so I'm going to take the points, Michigan +10, +9.5 at Penn State. Even with Penn State coming off the bye, I think Michigan's defense is too good to lose by double digits. So even with John O'Korn, they can make this ugly. I think it's going to be relatively low scoring. Bama -34 against Tennessee. No brainer.
You are still Bama minus anything.
Bama minus anything, especially against a team reeling with a whole fan base just accepting the coach is not going to be the
official college football show of Bama minus anything. Book it.
There it is. Virginia Tech -21 hosting North Carolina. North Carolina is just too wrecked. The defense is not anywhere near where it needs to be to hang with Virginia Tech, so I like the Hokies. Miami -15 against Syracuse. Yes, if you're going to hang with Miami, you better be able to run. Can Syracuse run? No, they cannot.
So you think Miami rolls?
I think it's going to be a slow roll. I think they win by like 17-20.
Okay.
In the rain, though, that makes it worrisome for me. Oklahoma -13.5 at Kansas State. It is a road favorite. It is a Kansas State team that will be without Jesse Ertz. What do you have to do to hang with Oklahoma? You got to be able to score. You got to be able to score points. I don't see Kansas State being able to do that with Alex Delton, so I'm going to go with the Sooners.
Which means Kansas State's going to win 13-9.
Absolutely. This is absolutely true. So that's it. Those are our picks. We have cinnamon roll muffins to attend to, but comment down below. My God, let's keep this conversation going. Richard loves commenters. Everybody knows that about him.
I love to interact with you.
Engagement.
Wake up Hive.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you for watching. We have a really fun college football weekend ahead of us. This has been Wake Up College Football, presented by Xfinity.
Cinnamon Roll Tide.
We'll see you soon.